we've canceled those types of events. And yes, people are mad. People are angry that we're not doing it, but they're angry and they understand. So you can be mad about things, but you have to look at the greater good. This is not a good idea that he's doing this at all. And in fact, this is one of those stories where I feel like I have to find a way to keep an eye on, because there's going to be more come out of this. Since March, Ramsey Solutions, they've had like 100 cases of COVID-19 among the employees. 1 in 8. That's a 1 in 8. So see, it's that sample size again. When people say that South Dakota, it has a high percentage of cases, you got to look at how many people are in South Dakota. You got to look at the sample size. And this is a good example. There were about 50 cases in mid-November. Now, that's 1 in 4. Or is that 2 in 4? Okay. I'm not doing math today, but you get the idea. You get the idea. So, not a good idea. I'm interested and I'm not interested in how it turns out, but certainly really defying the COVID orders when other companies who would like to do the same thing have to sit by and watch somebody like this defy orders. And again, it doesn't surprise me that it's another Christian company, another religious foundation. That he prides himself on being the Christian personal finance guru. I just don't see anything good coming out of this. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so we want to move on to Honor Thy Heroes. This Honor Thy Heroes, I gotta tell you, it's been on the desk for a little bit. It's a slightly dated story, but that's okay. That's okay, because it doesn't matter when the heroes shined. What matters is that we know about them so we can praise them. And it's been on the desk for a while, and just other ones have popped up that sort of got shuffled in. And of course, as we said, we're sort of in the middle of the process of moving, so a lot of things get shoved around. But this is such a great one to end the year with. Okay? The Wombat of the Week, we talked about a wedding. Now let's talk about a different kind of wedding. How about a bride and groom who canceled their wedding reception because of COVID-19 donate the food to a shelter? That's right. Back in August, Tyler and Melanie Toppenjaw canceled their wedding reception because of COVID-19, but they didn't let the food that they ordered go to waste. They were having a food truck caterer cater their wedding, and they sent the truck to Laura's Home, a shelter for women and children in need. It's called Laura's Home Women's Crisis Center, and it's part of the Ohio nonprofit The City Mission, which helps overcome homelessness, and about 70 kids currently attend the Cleveland-based program with their mothers. So, right after their wedding, still in their tuxedo and wedding gown, they showed up at Laura's Home, okay, because they went into the kitchen and helped serve the meals. They served about 100 or more meals to needy women and children. So imagine that. All the things that you could do on your wedding day, you decide to take the catering bill and basically eat it. Like, okay, we paid for this. We can't have a reception now because of COVID-19. So they donate the food to a shelter. And then not only that, but they get in there and they serve the food in their wedding gear. Now, only the couple and a wedding photographer, they were the only three allowed into the home due to COVID-19. See how this works? You have restrictions to keep people safe. That's how this works. And so they went right to work. The couple told CBS that they decided to cancel their reception because of COVID-19. They did receive a full refund from their venue, but they also took into account the concerns of the families. They were taking into concerns that of their own families possibly getting sick. They didn't want to risk anything. So they were able to have a 100% refund on the food, but they chose to donate it instead. So on August 15th, they had the ceremony. They were married and went right to Laura's home to help with the catering to the homeless, to the women and the children. And that's the kind of hero that everyone wants to see. This is an example of a hero's hero. You know? How many other people would do that? This is just amazing stuff. So they did things like they do at a regular wedding reception. They came out from the kitchen. They moved around the dining room. They greeted the women and the children. And they had a really good day. They enjoyed it. Obviously, the women and the children enjoyed it. The shelter was very thankful. You know, and here on the show, we find ourselves very thankful that they did such a thing for them. That they did such a thing like this. What an amazing story. And this couple is our Honor Thy Heroes recipient this week, the final drop of the year. So enjoy your crown. Thank you very much for what you did for those women and those children in their time of need. And I just bless you for what you did. And remember, folks, this is the time of year right now where if you have, you should donate. Donate to your local shelters. Donate to your local food bank. Because there are families that are going on. There are families that haven't been getting paychecks and have to deal with this. You know, help somebody in your locality. Donate to a food bank or a shelter. Especially, I mean, any time of the year, but especially this time of year. In this year of all years. So that's the Wombat of the Week, and we thank them for what they did. What an amazing, amazing thing. So that gives me actually plenty of time to go over one last thing, and I got a really good one last thing that I wanted to go over. I failed to mention because it's not all that big of an issue. So the show's available in a lot of places. Most recently, by the way, you can listen to us on Alexa at Amazon Music. Just ask her to play the Joe Michaelec Show. But, you know, and of course, when we post a podcast, it goes out to all these networks, and we also additionally have it shared on YouTube, and it takes the audio and the one single picture that we use for each podcast, and it formulates a video. It's not really a video, it's just a static picture, but in other words, the show gets to YouTube as a listening outlet. Well, what we haven't been telling you is, in recent weeks, we've been getting a lot of emails from YouTube because they're starting to age restrict a lot of our episodes, and I don't even know why. If we slip or we curse, we have to mark it for Apple that it's explicit, which we do. Now, if that's not getting transferred properly to YouTube, or there's no algorithm for YouTube to pick up on that, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. But that's also not the problem. Because they've been age restricting shows that I saw no reason should be age restricted. And I've been letting it go. Talking to some colleagues at work, and they said, you know, it's sort of how the algorithms might work, and, you know, it's not a big deal. They're not banning the show. They're just age restricting it. And okay. So what happened last week, though? What happened last week was the show usually drops at approximately 5 p.m. on Sundays. Okay? Give or take a few minutes for all the networks to get the RSS and get it posted on like iHeart and Apple and Amazon and Spotify and things like that. So at about 5:11 last week on Sunday, I received an email from YouTube saying that the show that just posted has been reviewed and was age restricted. Now, there wasn't a curse word on there at all. And it just posted. And so for the first time, I decided to hit the appeal button, and it asked I had to write my appeal. And the only thing I said in my appeal was, this show just posted. And I used a little exaggeration. I said, and 17 seconds later, it's flagged to be age restricted. And my appeal is this. YouTube needs to explain itself as to why this happened. And the next day I did get an email saying that they removed the age restriction and they apologized. And of course they blamed it on COVID-19 because they said that, due to not having enough staff, which I don't really buy into that because I don't think there's actual people doing this. I think, like I was told, I believe that it's all pretty much algorithms that do it. And so there's flaws in that system, and that's proof right there. For you to flag something that you just received, like there's no way, even if it was full of curse words and porn, whatever, I mean, it would not. There's no way your filters got it that quick unless you've got some super filters, and I'm telling you, YouTube, you don't. So it was just really an interesting thing. I wanted to share that story with you. It may the lovely Sharon and I really have to sit down and talk about, we may actually omit future episodes from YouTube, because of that. Even though, we don't have a large listenership on YouTube, so there would be no major loss there. And I just don't want to keep formatting, the program for a network that has corrupt algorithms that would be incorrectly flagging the program. And so instead of taking a chance of somebody causing me to miss audience, I'd rather just dictate myself whether we're going to stay on that network or remove ourselves from that network and sort of put our efforts somewhere else. So, but more on that at another time. That was one last thing. I just wanted to let you know what was going on. I thought it was a funny story. It hadn't bothered me until it immediately affected the program. So there's that, and one last thing. And I want to thank everybody for listening to the podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners for such a wonderful year. The amount of downloads, we're so happy to be able to come into your homes or through your mobile devices each and every week, and we look forward to another year with maybe some great changes on the horizon for the program. We're thinking about all different kinds of things and what really would work or not work. So we're hard at work doing things like that. We're hard at work with a lot of things, and hopefully we get some of the here and now out of the way so we can concentrate on other big things. So pay close attention to the social media, especially Facebook at JM Talk this coming week for the airing of the Christmas program. Also, www.jmtalk.net. That's the homepage. And we want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, a very happy, joyous, and very healthy New Year. And we look forward to what is waiting for us on that other side of 2020. Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you in 2021. Goodbye.